Welcome everyone to another Rust Linux live stream. As you know, recurring subscribers know, huge fans of memory safe and modern languages here. So naturally with coreutils, a coreutils, a GNU coreutils alternative now written in Rust with MIT license. Some people love it for the more permissive MIT license over the GNU coreutils GPL. Others certainly for their Rust. What is now new? So coreutils, GNU coreutils is a collection that, of course, all Linux distributions will usually package. Collection of regular tools like DD and cat and tail and all this kind of fun stuff. And what is new? The developers write here, of course, given it's Rust, it's new and modern, attracting people. So new is more contributors significantly also. Nearly 10,000 stars, and patches grew significantly from 30 to 60 patches a month to 400 to 472 patches here. So also, open source scalability, right? People do this in their spare time and then they need to process 470 patch contributions for free. Similarly, they saw an increase in number of contributors, 20 to 50 per month. 2 new maintainers, similar to us here at T2 Linux. There's all the YouTube shameless advertisements here, shameless self-promotion. And so what is also new is that they write here, at least in their blog, I've not, of course, tested this, we do this live here. This is what this more live channel is for. And new is that not only are they mostly complete, at least in terms of what they ship, the only thing they write here is maybe the only thing missing is SSTTY or so. And otherwise, of course, some features here and there and passing all the test suite. But otherwise, performance, allegedly, according to their self-promotion here, some binaries significantly faster than GNU. So much too. But I said this already 100 times, right? People always believe C is the fastest. No, you can even write with smarter algorithms and stuff, not always, but at times. Of course, comparing apples and oranges, you can always match the performance in most languages. But if you have something implemented with not particularly well scaling algorithms in C, like GNU stuff recurrently seen here, right, where I live on my YouTube channel, it's like, God, what were they thinking? Let it rain brain. But yeah, Rust, of course, a high-performance language, and then if you pair high-performance memory-safe language with clever algorithms, then, of course, at times they can be significantly faster. So yes, as I said, they ship nearly everything. I looked here, the source tree is a little bit strange to me, but maybe this is totally still not for Rust. They have here stuff, I think, in, was it UU or, yeah, UU. It's a little bit strange to me, like they have here like source coreutils and this bin. This is a little bit strange and silly to me, but now we, of course, look past it and do not let this monster, not source tree, irritate us too much, because this is only some front-end driver of iterating his arguments to some coreutils, whatever that is, array or so, hash table, and otherwise those tools are implemented here. Let's click on cat. I clicked on some. I'm not totally unprepared for such live stream, so I clicked on a few, but not on cat. Let's see. So code size, code star wise. Yeah, at least it looks interesting. I would need some. Maybe we take a look later. We know. So yeah, basically that's the summary. And allegedly, last but not least, they already apparently use that on some systems like Debian or so, optionally, of course not by default, but some people already tried to run their whole system with this new written in Rust utilities. And of course, all this high performance and state of the art, and certainly more memory safe. Also, people say security, right? We had this the other day with PolicyKit. Of course, stuff like PolicyKit, security critical stuff should be written in saner languages than C, previous live streams. But in this case, it is also crashing, right? Of course, this GNU coreutils are in the meantime relatively sophisticated, not sophisticated, I should say long-term tested. After 20, if not 30 years of long-term testing, of course, the bugs should have the tendency to reach some zero level or background noise. But I had this 20 years doing this low level stuff. I had stuff failing on me, right? Or people always say security, 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 but core utils are not that security related. I would also argue like that this stuff like freaking just works here. And because I had once there was even a major bug in GNU find util that even at Rock Linux times, like 20 years or 19 years ago, that even, I think even due to not, we used relatively complex like find, prune, directory, match this, but this, and this, but not this, like with not CVS directories, not subversion directories, but something like that. And so that totally failed with some find update. Maybe it was even a minor find update. And I think even the consequences were that in our T2 back in the day, Rock Linux, it deleted like all of the source tree because like this predicates didn't work as expected and deleted. Like, and we like find the stuff xargs rm. This was like some maybe cleanup, like lib or scripts cleanup or something like that. So it like GNU find utils bugs, true story, deleting all my source tree, and potentially more. And I had sometimes other stuff, randomly segmentation faulting, right? Nothing worse. You do some data discovery, some DD segmentation faulting on you. Of course, nowadays doesn't happen that often, but it happened sometimes. Also, for example, they recently added copy on write. I think it's in the latest core util that you learn here something. I think in the very, very latest GNU core utils, they default to ref copy of copy on write with BetterFS. I think this even exposed a bug with something XFS or so. But so yeah, those tools, if you think, hey, they are like 30 years tested and they will never segmentation fault on me, it's like, yeah, maybe with copy and write with using BetterFS specific ref copy, like syscalls, like, yeah, maybe 2022 stuff, like CP could also potentially segmentation fault. So yeah, let's get back to work. What do we make? Is this perfectly? Actually, I should have checked that before we went live, because of course that is not ideally positioned on the live stream, but nothing like whatever. It's probably nearly good enough. So that is of course my local ARM64. All right, we can't copy and paste on this. That is a little bit annoying. Nothing like being super amazingly prepared. Maybe I also should have run. So yeah, let's package this and see if it works. I think that came up. So that is GitHub CC utils or something like that. CC utils. It is probably something else. The question is, how do we name this? Oh, this is also somehow utils. What did I call that? This is of course RUU, by the way, stands so they do not only target Linux systems, they also target Mac OS and Windows. So not that it would be the most important to me, but at least you have the possibility to run the same code, the same utilities potentially on Mac and Windows if you wanted to. So we probably package this as UU utils. The only question is, do we package this in Rust? I would, it's kind of sorta not really Rust. I would naturally more put Rust language specific stuff in here. Where did we package the tiny? No, this is, where did we? Wait, this was not tiny. This was toy box. Okay, maybe. Also, I wouldn't say this is the best location. Wait a second. Utils. I think I said this utils. It is utils. Maybe I said it right. Anyway, utils. Base is, in my opinion, not so really, because it's like really base today, right now, and welcome everyone. So later I would actually rather try to minimize our base packages, but given that all the other coreutils and other tinier embedded BusyBox toyutils. Toybox. Let's start with that here. BusyBox to you, or actually we could theoretically coreutils, because why not coreutils? Probably matches a little bit better. Deleting some history. It's maybe not the very nicest thing to do, but it's anyway. Maybe we call this, how do they call it themselves, like cross, so where is the U in, wait a second, this is so strange here. How do they, oh wait, are they also, interesting, they, oh, oopsie. They also, looks like they also have find utils, is that even, so now we have a challenge, because I wanted to call this utils, but yeah, that is not ideal. Let's see, what do we have there? We have the graver, doesn't make sense to call it coreutils rust something and place it in some same group as the original coreutils. Yeah, so I just figured the same. I thought the name is utils, but the question is, maybe, I mean, first we can check what Debian also does with utils. Maybe we bridge the time already downloading that. Find utils, is it as 2 tags? Does it also have 10k stars, or no, this only has 115 stars, huh? So find utils not as popular as coreutils apparently. Interesting. But the thing is, of course, if you get mentioned in some news site, then of course, like some instant star explosion. So, all right, we also use the wrong browser. We need this. Oh wait, can I even copy? I don't. That is a little bit annoying. That comes from, I need to improve my QEMU macOS setup here for ARM64 Silicon, as long as native Linux live streaming is not an option. MBAS work effects, the benefit of running those, well, as I mentioned, potentially higher performance, right, for some tools, and then memory safety, being more assured that the stuff doesn't potentially randomly segmentation fault on you on some certain sets of data, especially if you run this in security environments. Maybe they're also smaller. In general, there is also BusyBox and Toybox already for written in C and more minimal applications. And so there are usually such kind of things. Some modern tools, we had this already in another live stream, there are also variants of other, like even LS and stuff, that are simply more colorful, more icons, more Unicode characters. So these are always details that you can improve with such kind of rewrites. I mean, they could also do this in GNU coreutils, but maybe they are a little bit more old-fashioned and yelling at the cloud and not adopting such modern feature wishes the most. So apparently the sources are those. It's a little bit unfortunate that we run URXVT. Maybe we should actually run something else here. Do I have Xemacs? Actually, wait a second, maybe. It's a little bit trick 17 here, and yeah, if you have recommendations, so the problem on multi-tool, right, this is when you run a Mac, not recommended. I otherwise run a Linux distribution for 20 years, but this is currently my most high performance portable computer, and that is, yeah, which recommends why I don't recommend this stuff, right? You have not a middle mouse button, you don't have, you have other strange keyboard layout things, and it's like, yeah. We can also name this utils for now and later rename this. Wait a second, I wanted actually piss people off and start a flame war and run Xemacs and hope that it allows to paste stuff. if we maybe use that, hey, that worked. That saves us some copy and pasting. So, so that would be utils. Actually, we can let, this download would be more like we can't download this like coreutils. So this already should be more like utils, coreutils 0012 tar gset, and that is from, what was it usually? Was it, did it work like that? I should remember, but somehow I always forget. Let's have that saved. And we have 0012 better and MIT, probably not titlib, maybe cross utils team or so, and this we also need to GitHub utils core utils, and this stuff theoretically needs no universal also. Like that. Rust utils, something of that sort. Doesn't matter too much. We can at any time polish it further. First, we need to download this and see if it builds, because I have no idea if our Rust and cargo stuff. I mean, yeah, it will pull all the dependencies automatically. Wonder how many micro dependencies it will have. Grab, what did we want? We want GitHub in, what was this stupid URL encoding scheme? GitHub project archive. So I think I had an extra tag in there. I had tags in there, so I'm not sure if they add the, oops. Let's see, this will be a test. Either this works or other packages, because often they had like a V, maybe they only have the V if they, okay, so the V is maybe explicit when people manually tag stuff with starting with a V. Interesting. Thanks to Graver for checking that. I read on the internet people tried this, so maybe they manually, although some news mentioned that there is work on allowing this as an alternative in Debian. So we need for sure maybe something. Let's first manually build it, because this Rust stuff is something I'm not sure if. Or, although actually, wait a second, we might actually, this is actually potentially dangerous. What is there, like careful indie or so? Indie, aka Indiana Jones, like careful, or careful Rick, aka Rick Dangerous. Not to totally mangle here my core utils in case. Obviously, this would overinstall. So one nifty feature of T2 is manually, like if you manually build stuff, which usually you don't, but like experts might do, you could specify a prefix. The only thing is if the package actually values that, and install this into utils. And this is also why it is so important that utils, that packages actually implement details like this in T2 correctly. Aika says, doubt they will be smaller. That is true. I'm personally also not the most. Actually, we should have built with both, at least to instantly see what's going on and for better YouTube views. Oh, that filled Sphinx build. That, what the heck? How did we run this? Why is this having a GNU makefile? So yeah, I'm not saying that Rust is amazing. It personally doesn't suit me the most, but it doesn't change that it is a popular language, that it has some useful utilities. It has some useful properties. Other question: do you have any suggestion books for learning low-level Linux and kernel stuff? Well, nowadays I would actually usually say the internet. I personally made the expensive mistake 20 plus, like nearly 25 years ago. I purchased when there was not even GTK or GTK was in its infancy. I purchased like 4 or so with my neighbor. X-programming books. I still have some in the office, and we barely read them. Right, the X-window. Actually, Alan Coppersmith, or what his name precisely is, recently posted pictures. I think it was Alan from Open Solaris and previously Sun Microsystems or so. And yeah, we have 4 of those, and so they were the most useless books, like X Toolkit and stuff, and X and XT. It's like, yeah, and everything we with our VGA Sound Blaster DOS assembler program, we were reading these books like oh my god, what were they drinking? And of course nobody used it much back then and doesn't use it much back now. My point is, don't usually, I mean, there are some good books, but maybe first start in the internet. I'm also totally like support authors writing amazing books. Just that I found many in the books that are not that amazing, and I would therefore suggest start with GitHub projects like this. And when you have an idea what you want to learn precisely, then maybe research what books are there. Of course, otherwise, we have the Minix 3, I think, book in the office. Even we have the Dragon compiler book at Exacode in the office. We have some data algorithms. We have Björn Strustrup's C++ maybe from 20 years ago, and so on and so forth. So we have many books, but I would not usually say many of them are the best or the most important. And yeah, start in the internet and then see. So we have here, we need to be careful with this prefix. We should support this prefix, especially with such optional alternative packages. And always, if you find amazing stuff, comment, right? Also share it with other people on this channel, on this and the main channel or Discord server, and help growing this community and everyone learning something new. So we want that. Let's see. All right, we can't. No, this was the wrong thing. So cargo build. I need to work on maybe some QXL or so viewer here sometime soon. Let's see. Updating crates.io. So the super annoying thing is this actually might take a second. Thankfully, we are here on some not Vodafone DOCSIS cable line, because that potentially, yeah, this Wi-Fi better than our office, which is completely out of order because Vodafone has again a major network outage. Yay! Let's hope it comes back up later. I will also in the next days really work on bringing the next services up in the data center, because obviously Vodafone's failing DOCSIS cable is way too infrastructure or apocalypse to use for anything. By the way, as you thanked me for this answer, there's actually OS news. And now that I think about this, there is OS news, some wiki, OS news, OS dev, OS dev somewhere wiki here at osdev.org, and that is also an amazing resource for truly low-level stuff, right? Interrupts and page tables, and nowadays, I think previously mostly x86, but nowadays I think I saw there also ARM stuff. Not sure if they potentially have RISC-V stuff, but that certainly is another pretty good resource for that. So far we built here. I expected some build errors, but couldn't. And I expected some build errors, and we get some build errors. Undefined reference to Unix syntax grep. What? Some external functions couldn't be found. Some native libraries may be needed to install or have Rust linked libs, build cargo system, something. What does it want here? Connect, no idea where that is coming from. Wop, wop, wow. Yeah, this is somehow my recurring experience linking with the C field of what is it, standard buffer. Okay, so actually most of this stuff built except standard, what is it, UU, what does standard buffer do even? No, we could Google where that is coming from. Doesn't ring a bell immediately. The other question would be, do we have, what other, they have here like features, selection of some stuff. I mean, we could, for example, say, okay, let's test those and see, right, also, no default features. Like CP, cut echo RM, CP, RM, something of that sort. Let's have a space there. So basically only checking if something of the stuff builds. I expected better. Well, I expected some build error. This is also like last month's installation. I'm currently not feeling like rebuilding, because at least this works. I'm currently not feeling like rebuilding Rust and cargo on this ARM Apple M1 Max. It's an M1 Max, but yeah, my epic Threadripping Ryzen, you got it. Right? So how does it install? That is always also building make. No, where should I? Installing can be simply done using bin folder. Okay, so I totally hate this. This is, I mean, at least it doesn't clobber your system, but otherwise, for installations, that is pretty useless. So yeah, usually you've seen me here quickly like packaging one after another. So the thing is, this Rust stuff is a little bit newish, so I need to be a little bit more careful what we do here. So this is why I tried this. Oops. So what we probably want to do is make op nothing and make int op nothing, and to prevent our make stuff, because there is a make file, so we don't want to run this. And where do we have? Do we not have cargo? Oops, hello. I thought did we not? Maybe we, this is kind of thing, the usual win-win of testing our ARM build and improving our T2 Linux, which actually, did I show that already? We have, of course, here. And, all right, I think maybe we showed this already. And the usual win-win of testing before we hopefully finally release the next major release really soon, especially non-x86, because this is ARM64. Guess the owners of this website have proper learning programs, or at least again they're for Linux programming. What exactly do you mean our channel? Cheers. Yeah, you probably want to share, like, and subscribe, because actually theoretically I have programming 101 stuff on my YouTube programming channel program. Cargo packages, so looks like we might have open coded that, and that is the usual win-win of actually finding, all right, we can't copy and paste this. Maybe the default middle button copy and paste thing, not the most ideal thing for virtual machines. So interesting. So this cargo path install thing, we have here two, just that is a little bit strange that here they say this installs in cargo bin. We have here, oh, wait a second, that sucks majorly, wow. That is of course really not cool though. Okay, something to, do we have a to-do here? What was it? Creates something of that sort. User, not bin, but not such would matter too much. But this is the usual win-win. This is exactly what I meant. It's like, yeah, it looks random, but yeah, that is the future. Reviewing, analyzing, taking a look, see what's new, testing that, and finding bugs, obviously, because this kind of stuff, you don't actively look around for some random build artifacts, and that's exactly the stuff that we're also after. I'm only wondering, installation-wise, coreutils. So they say cargo install pass. So in general, I also find this a little bit silly. Oh, wait a second, do we need release? No. So now it built more. So apparently we need to run install with the same arguments. Apparently, maybe. We have here cargo build. So now I wonder, how do we install with what we just built? That is a little bit release, no default, something. Because this cargo install builds different stuff. So it somehow sucks. I'm really currently not a fan of, or should we build with, what does make install do? This is a little bit funny. Okay, they have here, I mean, this is yeah, 2022. They have here a dedicated Rust build system called Cargo that we currently are not the biggest fan of. And then 2022, you need Cargo plus make files to install this shit. Okay, so they have here apparently specifically hard-coded lists that they then install. Even having some busybox configs, that is a little bit. This stuff is surprisingly messy, to be honest, for the installation. Not the greatest fan of that, to be honest. So this is all the stuff where it's like, hey, might be amazing tools, but doesn't build all Unix here, and because unobserved symbols plus installations, like, yeah, you had me at. This is what I wonder, right? With the most promising memory safe language 2022 and the installation and building is still so strange. More questions. What's the best way to learn Rust? What resources would you suggest for a beginner? I don't know if you're not. I mean, I usually advise the project's main site. If this is too formal and too academic, then just Google for, like, maybe on Medium also, or in general, like shorter blogs of people, or of course if you are into books, programming Rust, it's like, yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, installation wise is like, yeah, so this leaves a lot to be desired if you need make files to install your coreutils here. That is somehow not the most amazing. Let's document what we probably approximately need, which is which keyboard layout all right, this was so that would be hook add for now. What do we like in make 5 4. But anyway, this is not final. This is something just documenting this. I need to go meditate more about the installation procedure and cargo build release. Theoretically, features Unix should build, I guess, and installations. Like, yeah, we also don't want to build this by default for now, as long as this is not like fully production ready. The other thing, on our Discord, someone mentioned, I'm not sure if that was fixed yet, maybe not. setlibng failed, I think, for ARM, which I wanted to take a look at just because. And someone reported, I think, for ARM that this failed with maybe undefined here something. So this is like CRC32. At least this is how it failed for someone else. Let's see if it fails here the same. Yeah, CRC. So can reproduce it. I didn't previously look into that. I had this in my mental to do. So failed target specific option mismatch and okay, so they built this explicitly with march, and so they are working a little bit against our build system. I would hope they know what they're doing. We basically can, we only need like preferably an editor which we can edit with. So what we do now is a little bit dangerous. So if you play along at home, apply a little bit common sense and no warranties here and stuff. Which you, by the way, can share, like, and subscribe, and GitHub sponsorship, and YouTube membership, and Patreon. Cheers. And so we basically Xemacs. So this would be. Do we have boot in Mini? And let's copy what we do there to setlibng conf. The thing is, I hope, well, I would hope someone fixed it already. I only hope I don't do that a second time, because right now bloody office line is offline with this bloody Vodafone doxes. So I can't SVN up right now. What is the ATA compression library? Why the heck is that such a... what garbage is it here? Good that we double check that. Change on. We need to do that to be able to save the file for package. Theoretically, actually, maybe I actually could probably check out as my user and edit with graphical editors and just use another root shell for building. Maybe that would be a more copy and paste worthy way here. Change on, because it certainly sucks a little bit, which usually I don't. This is just virtual machine thing here. So had to do that again. So what do we have here? Setlibng, because this is obviously also setlib ng, oops, okay, layout, you guessed it. So no idea how that happened. Maybe copy and paste buffer thing. All right, because maybe I used cut here of Jenk or something, and that is, yeah. So more modern setlib compression library, data compression library for the next generation system. Is it even their official slogan? That sounds a little bit strange, but maybe it is. Yeah, that is the official slogan. Okay, Christian Rosbach is correct. And so what did we wanted to do here? All right, we wanted to copy here this removal. So again, so this is Dangerland, right? And so removing this removal of march gcc. What do we have here? Okay, so basically what we do is, so this is a little bit dangerous because if the user chooses some optimization, so this package then might build for something else. In general, we try to automatically transform everything to the same set of configured optimization options. We could try, actually this is insert, let's see. We could see if that works. It might. Let's see, so this is just, so this, not sure if this may or may not emerge. Not sure if the compiler errors out with what you're saying with meme length time. Please explain. So it may or may not work. Actually, okay, this worked. As this worked, I'm somewhat tempted to potentially do the same for the M1N1 mini bootloader there. For the M1N1 mini bootloader for the Apple Asahi Linux stuff here, previously shown, right? If you're into this kind of stuff, I only played safe because I didn't want to reboot and reboot and reboot again, and basically each time like wasting 10 minutes of recopying the first initial enablement here of testing this bootloader stuff. But as it works for setlib ng, I would think it would also work for M1N1 mini selectively. There we need this for some virtualization, I think, instructions. All right, we can't commit this right now because that is down. Anyway, that's actually basically mostly it. Etern Nexus 49, all this wiki is amazing. Hard to find good info, Google these days. Thank you so much. Yeah, happy that helped. That's what we're here for, to spread some knowledge, and hope you learned something. So yeah, the coreutils, we could spend, how many people tune in right now? Is there some couple of people watching? We could try, okay, we have done that thing. We could try to package this other tools a little bit better. Did we clean this already? No, we didn't. So source utils here, coreutils there, and so we built this with cargo. Let's do a little bit research how we can install that. So ideally I would want to install this without GNU make, which is a little bit hilarious. Therefore I wonder, it was install, right? Yeah, so this is really strange. So I'm, as much as I really want to like and love and get used to Rust and cargo, but each time I take a look, like basically Rust and cargo showing me a finger of like, nah, we will not allow you and your like resistances. I mean, it's like basically the opposite of resistance is futile, right? This is basically, we are, Rust and cargo, we are resisting. You will not be assimilated. I find this build system really strange. I mean, why can you like cargo build configure stuff and then not cargo install? Cargo install select feature or even prefix, right? Where does it cargo install path git list? So what does root cargo install root? So yeah, I mean, this is really profile target. I find this really strange by default, annoying to use, even incomplete to in use, like basically for like building that really into a system. I mean, probably it's a waste of time that I look into this, because if the authors that who probably master Rust relatively well, if the authors of this utils already write a makefile, then probably there must be a reason why they write a makefile, right? It's installation. Then Gunther probably wonders as I what they meant with it. Actually, here's feature selection. Come as a list of features. Wait a second. So you're telling me that install should support features? Does it? No. Default features. Okay, this is, why is it? Use cargo build if you want to simply build. Do we need like force anyway? No. What is? Why does this is so ridiculous that? So this builds like that, right? Probably without force and that. Yeah, so please, if you are a Rust and cargo developer, maintainer, fan, please enlighten me how this cargo installation stuff should work. And wait a second, why does it say unoptimized? Or did I remove? Ah, darn, I removed the release here. Yeah, let's build this again. Okay, so that build release. Does it even? Okay, it has debug there. Build with. Ah, wait a second. It does. Maybe it does release by default. Maybe cargo build defaults to debug, and because it's also a little bit strange in my opinion that first say one thing builds with debug and the other with release, but whatever. So this is build, then install. Does it not do something? Install path. Does it do something? Cargo install. At least it does something now. I'm not sure why it's relinking that though. Okay, thankfully we might have been lucky that it installs this into this toolchain cargo bin and not Cloud or system. Okay, so this would be how it theoretically could work. Just that we now need to, and welcome everyone, which file does it create in the release directory? Probably those, what was the release directory? What was it, build, or what was it? It should, I configured these features, right? So we've overwritten this because some others didn't build. By the way, does it have negative feature selection? Feature examples, does it? Disable, no. Exclusive, exclusive, nah. So yeah, we have, although it doesn't, why does it not have, that is, what was it, release, let's build this again. Actually, wait a second. Why does it? This is also a bit funny. Why? Is this target? Target reads. Ah, target is it? Okay. And okay, we have coreutils. So maybe this is like, maybe all of the features. Yeah. So not the super greatest fan of that. I would. So on a first look, and I've seen this already, that they had this source bin coreutils, which 30 or so minutes I called out that I'm not the super greatest fan of that. That it only builds, that it's using one multiplexing thing here. So I actually prefer, oh darn, I'm not a fan of US Cloud. So what this does is similar to BusyBox and Toybox, linking this all in there. What do you want this with me? Like one binary, I prefer multiple small binaries. Wait a second, so cargo. So yeah, there we have the stuff. It also only installs coreutils. Yeah, not it. This is. Leave in the comments below what. No, I think it's. I've seen the sources. They had sources bin coreutils, and they're a argument multiplexing thing. I'm pretty sure this is always. I mean, it's otherwise this Unix is probably just mapping this Unix to. Where do we have? Here's even a README features. Unix is most likely simply mapping this. Here default stuff. Oops. Maybe you only need default though, but key val in Unix and then continue default macros Unix something crate. They have here crate with K. Oh my god. Why? My eyes. Even crazier. So they have let mutable crates here of vector new, and then so they have crates, and in crate this is, I don't know, can maybe like KDE of, not sure, can you, maybe you can't name stuff crate, or not a fan of having crate variable with K that is looks a little bit yeah. If you want the most critical code view stuff, then probably you want to share, like, subscribe to this channel. What we would need to do, so it had been, didn't it? So if we want to use what this makefile probably does is creating symlinks then, right? Yeah, ln of all those of installed here for each program symlink, as you see here. So yeah, that's what they. Cargo is the most amazing build system. You need some GNU makefile around that. 2020, welcome to 2022. I need some coffee to unsee that. I'm not sure how to handle that. That is a little bit. And this is the thing, right? This is. You have seen a year ago or 2 years ago, 6-7 hours KDE GNOME, like 50, 100 packages in a 6 or 7 hour live stream, and then this Rust and Cargo, it's like, yeah, 30 minutes and still not like 100% done with that thing. But in general, for like my dream system, I would not prefer one big binary with. Sure, it can share some structural details of high performance IO handling or something, but nonetheless, I would prefer one program for one task and not this. BusyBox only does that for saving memory on constrained embedded systems. I see the point for BusyBox if you have like a dozen small tiny things and need to save each kilobyte on an MMU-less, potentially MMU-less embedded microprocessor, but here, this huge Rust and Cargo stuff, I don't see why you would want to do that here, to be honest. We had here release, so that is install, so install the same stuff with path dot. And what we probably want to do next in our usual win-win situation here was, if we already, US, this VM and US keyboard layout is killing me, as you see. What we probably want to do next in a more win-win scenario here is actually adding generic cargo stuff so that we don't need to open code all this in and post make stuff and have here default options, and similar to all other build systems like make files and Ninja and Mason and stuff, have here only option manipulation and not here the whole open coded stuff of install features Unix path dot, maybe even force. Oops, I think the other package used force, didn't it? Yeah, not sure. Maybe it didn't reinstall stuff if it was there already, or some other nonsense like that. So the only thing, so the funny is that I actually maybe, you know what, maybe this cargo doesn't install properly anymore. We actually need to check that. To do and check. Because we just some time ago had changed not to pollute the system with a growing gigabyte of build artifacts, set this cargo home here, and so there might, exactly where we do this, right? Testing, the most testing and more testing, especially for our own stuff, so that the stuff actually really works. And we have still, so the strange thing is obviously YouTube statistic, not sure what is correct there now. So the prefix root install root is determined in order of, so root option. So what we so we set cargo home to group this build artifacts in a, is it tempfs? Maybe tempfs potentially. Let's check that. Once upon a time it might have been. At least, oh no, maybe it's not tempfs anymore, because I think we wanted to, I optimized this not to re-download all those crates for each package, as much as I despise that anyway, to start with. And yeah, so that we mostly share this GitHub-based Git clone pull stuff and other potential downloads. And that might also be where we install cargo. Actually, we actually obviously should check that. So the question is what happens. Maybe we should actually check this with this package. Maybe we even want like root equals root prefix, I guess. And that obviously should somehow be the default then, if that works. Let's maybe build this. I mean, we could go crazy and see if this prefix override works while we are at it, to check the most. Let's see. What do you mean, Glaucus? You are happy that we do Rust here live on this channel, or what is your yes Rust? Yes, aka finally freaking Rust, and not this shabby shell scripting or Not this shabby shell scripting, otherwise C++. What do you mean? What is a joke? So who will packaging here, or what exactly? Or the how many micro dependencies are this? Usually I'm also not a fan of this freaking micro dependencies here. So all in all, as much as I want less bugs, more security, and Glaucus, right, yes, Rust is awesome. Yeah, so I understand that memory safety and stuff of Rust can be awesome. I just don't warm up the most with all the surrounding infrastructure, unfortunately, or this outstanding example packages. Do you program, Glaucus? Do you program in Rust? Have you written any? I'm seriously interested in other people's opinion and proof of concept and work and so on. I've seen the comment. So the thing is, I don't have SEL4 experience, and so the Gnode is for me. I mentioned this in our Discord, I think. So Gnode, I have to say, I have the feeling the Gnode people, I understand they get a lot of stuff working, but maybe I should make a dedicated video actually. But to summarize this, hopefully in less than 1 minute, Gnode is for me like everything in the kitchen thing. They they get a lot of stuff working with shims and bindings and glue code and stuff, but I don't see the concept. So this Gnode OS stuff to me is like they try to throw everything into the kitchen sink and see what sticks. And sure, they get some stuff working, but overall it's like it's a little bit too much random chaos to me, to be honest. L4KA, I think, is the variant that I took a major look on before. And Haiku is pretty cool. Actually, I had to. Did I check out Haiku? These videos are actually relatively popular. I probably should continue with those. Haiku is relatively cool, just that it's not as much a microkernel. Otherwise, I find Haiku relatively cleanish. It's maybe one of the best outstanding code examples of many of those. NetBSD is, for me, I want like not C, right? I want like more memory and type safety than C. For me, NetBSD is like, it's just a BSD and like, sure, it has the least features. It's like the most portable because it has the least features, the least performance. But all in all, it's a single address base, vintage C code base that I otherwise don't prefer the most. And ReduxOS, I took a look at that some year ago. Maybe even the authors saw this video and commented below that. ReduxOS is relatively cool in principle, and maybe code-wise based also relatively cleanish. Just not, at least a year ago, not the most high performance. We took a look. I wondered, so the multi-server microkernel stuff looked a little bit low performance. Not sure if they fixed this. Although now they were wanting to look at IOU ring, but at that time, like a year ago, it looked a little bit like they have something like sockets of parsing block IO through sockets or something. It was small and readable and more memory safe as Rust, but I liked the structure and principle. It just didn't look the most high performance, but otherwise it was. ReduxOS is a good start. We will see how it scales in the future. Haiku is relatively amazing, and it's not really what I look for, but it's relatively readable. Unfortunately, mostly monolithic kernel code, and yeah, anyway, probably dedicated video. Need a dedicated video of most of them. So the crazy thing is I need to like get some stuff worked on, and some people tune in, which is amazing, but the stuff is, I'm aware that like, did you take a look at Haiku also, or ReduxOS? The videos are way more popular than this random work here, but that's just life. You can't have the cake and eat it too. So Roland Ruckerbos has uses Rust quite a lot personally. Also frustrated with certain aspects. Yeah, probably like me, although I don't yet use it the most. I looked into it somewhat. I get in touch with it with Firefox and bootstrapping, and I even patched it right for me, even some code lines in Rust upstream already. Yeah, so the dependencies. So yeah, Roland shares the same concerns as I with this hundreds of micro dependencies. I would prefer much more if they would have a more sorted, like 1 or a dozen sorted standard dependencies, and then this hundreds of crazy micro dependencies. It's like started porting some. Let's see. I know we have some discussion going on, which is also otherwise pretty amazing. Started porting some CLI tools to Rust, and the ecosystem isn't like anything I've used before. It's fascinating. Yeah, continue to share, like, and subscribe. Continue to comment below. The more feedback and input, the better. So we have some trolling going on there as well. Cargo can be, so Roland agrees, cargo can be quite painful. Want to do anything more at once with some standard use cases. Developers who think people use C++ violate. I have not read this, but I don't take any of such comments too seriously. So let's see, what did we build here or not? All right, so this, darn. Let's see, we have here features, like I think it was features list. So, right, so this didn't build because Unix, this didn't build because Unix, I meant not Unix, but feature set here. So that we want like cprm equal cut or something. And actually we could, you know what, we could have features equals, because why not? Because we need it twice, rm equal cut. What else do we have here? Oh, it doesn't matter, it's proof of concept anyway. Features and features. Let's hope that builds better. What else do we have there? I agree, however, as commented there, Rust community is a little bit toxic. I agree with, the funny thing is, the Debian people tell me I do shameless self-promotion. I totally agree, the Rust community does even more annoying, if not a little bit toxic self-promotion. I can agree to that somewhat. I agree, however, with them. I agree with those Rust developers and promoters that we for sure need more memory-safe languages for stability and security. Just that I agree with Roland and with my own experience that some details are pretty annoying. Some language details not amazing, some surrounding ecosystem not amazing and stuff. What do we have there? Extern function did we not, may not. Do we have there now? Did this feature thing not? Something 8, 17. So did we somehow build this wrong? So I guess it still didn't. So the problem is with that is that we don't see what it has run. Let's maybe, can we simply set X here? I usually don't do it like that. What do we do here? Features. Is there any reason why this should not work? Oh, wait a second, maybe this is not exported. Maybe features is empty. Let's see. We also should need we also should move this finally to some cargo helpers. The problem is this most likely will break something, and we actually wanted to release the next major T2 release really soon now. Yeah, for example here, like ordered multi-map, like why does it need, or like big decimal, and there was also, yeah, whatever. Interesting that the sub-projects are named UU underscore stuff. Maybe because some kind of library they link into the main executable. This still didn't work. Pity, wait a second, was features even? No, wait a second, was features. But I think we should have it in the X-trays now, 18. Maybe, however, I take the risk, we anyway have to Glaucus writes, unsafe Rust is still safer than C++. Yes, so that is true in the most, but I mean, usually you only type like, usually the rest of the program is still safe and you only write unsafe, for example, memory mapped IO stuff. So you basically, all the surrounding stuff is still like memory safe checked. So that, and those small the small code paths of memory mapped IO access and other such system call stuff are at least a fraction of the code to humanly. I mean, if you say, hey, we are programmers, we don't make mistakes because we are so cool and better, like most of the C users usually, like even with a policy kit bug recently on this video, people are like, yeah, this is a super stupid bug, nobody makes it like this, right? Like real programmers don't make bugs like this. Like, well, they do. And even like, you still have 99% more safety if your rest of the program is still validated, then you can only make such stupid typos and out of bounds stuff in your memory mapped IO helpers and similar such system call code paths, methods and functions and stuff. And if you already say, hey, we are the most amazing programmers, we don't need bugs, we don't make bugs, then here, then you don't make bugs in this 1% anyway. So I mean, fuzzing and sanitized and fuzzing C++ is way more effort, and it's also error prone, right? So this does not usually have 100% code coverage, and even if it has 100% code coverage, so fuzzing, I mean, fuzzing is randomly testing stuff, so you randomly fuzzing or stuff does not necessarily trigger all out of bounds accesses and stuff. So one cannot compare random fuzzing with sophisticated memory safety proving. Unsafe Rust is a bit underspecified around some parts. Easier time doing that in C++ because around undefined behavior. Saying unsafe is only used in exceptional circumstances. Right, I all everything what it does. Yeah, have fun. There is definitely undefined behavior in unsafe Rust, even easier to trigger because language is a lot stricter. I think Rust is easier as well. Okay, people have discussions there. Let's try to figure out why this stuff doesn't do what we thought it should do. All right, now we have. Where do I even have? We have the problem that can't make this stuff up. Why do we not have? Does it not export the setx? For my own sanity, I probably should. Somehow the setx doesn't have an effect there for some reason. I should have simply, instead of YOLOing. Oh, wait a second. I didn't do setx. I think this features was even exported. Let's try. Is there anything that... Oh, right, because, darn, I know I think I know, wait a second. I know it could, should it make opt, make and stopped. What is the evaluation order? It should evaluate, so this should evaluate first. There is not a typo. Let's see if that does something. I don't think. Can you post a link to the Rust CVEs? I thought there was only like very few, but only a handful of. But again, you only have a little unsafe Rust code, right? You still, what is even the discussion? All your other main code is still borrows checked, and only your small fractions of memory of the IO stuff and so on are not as far as I thought, but so 1826 something, Rust. Okay, this looks like, does it, why does it, is this double? This is a little bit strange. Build release, why does it have, does it work naturally without single tick quotes, or, oh, wait a second, it built something and, wait, did it even build correctly? Oh, wait a second, no, this is a, let's see where it is. Here it is. Does it fail due to... Oh no, it does eval that. I would say that it looks correct or not. Build, release, feature, CP, what's going on there? Or did I just use a feature that... Cargo build features, CP, or welche did what did I use previously? No default. I think maybe I forgot no default features. Did I forgot no default features? Oh, fuck. Can of course test forever if no default features. No default features, a little bit longish. Yeah, we should for sure. More CVEs does not mean more memory safety. I didn't think there are Rust language CVEs, Rust CVEs. I thought there are very few. For sure, there are plenty of more in C++ than 19. Potentially, maybe. Leave in the comments below. So, what did we install? Finally, so here's the name, maybe in the future subject to change. Okay, it installed actually where it should be just this crates shit there we don't want. That is, yeah, if you know how to get rid of that, I mean, we could, yeah, at least this prefix stuff works already. How many packages, by the way, how many modifications? Oh, not too many, cool. So far we, what do we have? Maybe we have this otherwise in conf. We have some packages. Okay, we also have this root thing there already, root prefix. So I think it's time to unify that. So the recurring theme, the crazy thing is, like, yeah, we test our own stuff, always perfect and add new stuff. So basically we are adding new stuff and breaking small details with cleanups, because I'm relatively sure if I now add cargo support, then maybe we do that. It's time. You know what? We make this a new live stream because, of course, this gets more views and refreshed engagement here. So yeah, thanks for watching. We might continue with the second live stream, because why not? Certainly need to get our T2 ready to release and shipping and stuff. And so yeah, I hope you learned something. And don't forget to like, subscribe, Patreon or GoFundMe or membership or stuff. And maybe see you in some minutes for another live stream implementing more generic cargo support here.